Good afternoon, Tony. Thank you for coming back and discussing a little bit more of your book, Winning by God's Design.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for having me.
As we read further into your book, you touch briefly on Jesus' actions and emotions as a man, especially when he's in the marketplace. Can you share more of your thoughts and ways Jesus demonstrated this to those around him?
The amazing thing about Jesus to me, and it didn't dawn on me until many years after, is being raised as a Catholic, we always thought Jesus as equal to God, which he is. However, when he came to the earth, he was a decidedly human person. He got angry, he got tired, he got impatient from time to time. He cried, he showed emotions, and those are not the actions of a god, they're the actions of a man. And there's one particular part I really like in the Bible where the disciples are trying to cast the evil spirit out of the afflicted person, and he turns and he says, "How long must I suffer you?" In other words, what he's saying is, I can't stand dealing with you anymore. Bring him to me, and it's this thing of just this humanity that Jesus shows, which is the fact that he came here for the time that he did to be an example to us all.
Also, within your book, you talk about how he's seen several times in the marketplace. In today's world, what do you feel would equate to a marketplace? And do you feel that if Jesus were to enter today into this world, where would that be?
Well, it's interesting because the body of Christ, if you will, going back in Jesus' time, was Jesus' human body and the disciples, which were a lot fewer than they are today. All of the power of Jesus was in this relatively compact or compressed group of people. Now, today, there are many, many people in the marketplace who say, "I am a Christian." And our job is to be like Jesus in the marketplace and doing as we're doing. And, that old, perhaps sometimes overused thing of what would Jesus do? Well, that's a very real saying. To answer your question specifically, if Jesus were to enter the marketplace today, you'd see him in the finance industry, you'd see him in the healthcare industry, you'd see him in the banking industry, in the construction industry, and perhaps in the political arena, yelling at the scribes and the Pharisees. But he would be telling the truth. Now, how that would be treated, probably not any more differently than it was back then, but there was no Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. Jesus tweeted this or things that wasn't happening back then, but yet the reaction, if you will, would be the same reaction in today's means of doing things as opposed to the way it was way back when.
Can you imagine if all Christians took to Facebook and Twitter and proclaimed Jesus? How quickly that would spread and change this world.
Well, it would take a commitment to one's faith. And the thing is, I've always believed that God isn't looking for, shall we say, ultimate piety. He's looking for genuineness, for us to live our faith. And apologies for my cats running all over the place. They seem to don't like it when Dad's doing an interview.
That's quite all right. As Christians, we're familiar with the books of the Bible, and you refer to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Can you expand a little bit more on the similarities between these four books that were clearly written at different
points in time with different people, but telling the same thing in non-contradictory terms? And that, to me, it's that if you have any question at all as to the deity and the ultimateness of God our Father and Jesus Christ, just consider that in the time that's there. The interesting thing about the Bible is that we are given in the King James canon, if you will, 66 books. There are other books. Some religions or organized bodies recognize them, others don't. I'm not going to debate the validity of that. I know in the Catholic Bible there was like the Book of Judith and the Book of Wisdom. I'm just dealing, me, myself, and I, when I deal in the original 66 and the King James. There's no contradictions whatsoever. And that to me is absolutely incredible. Luke took it upon himself to write everything in the order which it had taken. And Luke is a very interesting book because it kind of shows you how the apostles came from business people to disciples, and how they used their, shall we say, profit in business to further the gospel, especially Peter, James, and Zebedee with the fishing fleet. I mean, that was how Jesus was able to go and minister, because they sold a whole bunch of fish. So, these are things that, we are not common knowledge, if you will, but they're certainly in the Bible if we want to look at them.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for taking some time out today and exploring a little bit further your book, Winning by God's Design.
And thank you again, Kathy, and apologize for my cats who probably need to be fed. Thanks so much.
Thank you.